new album's coming out, of course, which we've already heard, which is 6. What do you think from the Take Off Your Colours era still feeds into modern You Me at 6?
Having fun.
Nice.
That's, I think, the number one most important factor. Is when we were writing Take Off Your Colours, there was no worrying about anything else, because we were writing our first record, we were impressionable, we were just having fun making music, you know, because 10 years later, I think that's the reason why we've got 6, is because we looked at the songs and we're going, we're just going to write music that we're enjoying and having a good time with, and that natural energy, if you try and fake something in a song, it's very easy to tell that's just contrived or forced upon. So I think that's the biggest link for me, is just having fun making music, which I think we all did on this record. And I think that's why it's got that energy and sound. And I think that's, for me, the link. And maybe because we recorded it in the UK as well.
Yeah, absolutely. In addition to that, it's not too far from away from what Max is saying. But for me personally, I felt the same spirit and like the fearlessness that we had with Take Off Your Colours when making 6, in terms of like, we made Take Off Your Colours unsigned, no publishers, no real plan, didn't really know what was going to happen, and we sort of had the exact same situation with 6. We're like, we didn't know why we were making music or who it was for, we just wanted to make music. Obviously we knew at some point it would come out in some capacity, but we didn't, there wasn't like some master plan like Pinky in the Brain in the basement, do you know what I mean? It was just sort of like, we're going to record songs that we love listening to, that we bounce off, and it wasn't like, oh, what do you reckon the A&R guy I think of this song, or what did the radio plugger say about what should be the single? It was like none of those conversations. Like, we'll make the record and then we'll go and tell them what's up. And that's not to take away from any feedback or constructive or positive criticism that you can be given for your work, but like, if it all starts with the band and the producer, and if those 6 people or 7 people, depending on how many people are in the room, if they connect with the songs and they're big fans of it, then it's got a fighting chance. But it has to start within that melting pot. And I don't know, I really felt that with Dan Austin and working. He was collaborative. Yeah. That's why we co-produced the record with him, because I think we had a clear idea when we had the body of songs what we wanted to go and do with them, but we wanted somebody else's ear and opinion. And we've worked with Dan before, you know, we recorded The Swarm with him and Gil Norton. So when his name came into the pot of doing the record, we went and did Fast Forward, Miracle in the Morning and Danger with him. And by the time we got to the vocals and Fast Forward, the first song we recorded with him, we're like, we want to do the record with you. Because there's just an instant connection. There's instantly, you can see this person was very passionate about the music and how he wanted it to sound, and it was matching us at our percent level, being like, we were going 120%, Dan would go 140, 150. He was a man who'd sit in the chair. A high percentage.
Yeah, it was a big percentage, you know, bigger than some people.
Working in numbers.
Here it is.
That I've not ever worked with.
That's why I'm not
getting mathematical.
That's why I'm not an accountant. So, but that was like the enjoyable part of it as well. It's just like finding somebody on your wavelength and was willing to push you to try new things creatively, and also be like, he could tell if we weren't buzzing off some of the songs and being like, cool, you know, I can see you're not vibing off this. Let's talk about it. What's not vibing right now? And he'd go, let's scrap that. If you're not vibing it, let's start again. And that was just like a breath of fresh air to have somebody like that in the room.
I imagine that's quite a rare situation as well. Like, a lot of producers would maybe be like, oh, well, we've got this, let's see kind of how it plays out. But to be able to spot what you guys are about.
Yeah, but that was, again, it shows you how close he was to the project. And it wasn't, for him, like, this isn't a criticism of anybody, but like, you know, making a record, it does need to be personal. And we've had experiences in the past where you do feel like you are just a check, and they're there to do a job, which is fine. That's part and parcel of life. But like this record was as important to Dan as it was to us.
Right.
And I guess ultimately, fundamentally, that's what I mean by my previous remark, was that like it meant more to him than what he was getting paid. You know, it was about like, I need this to be my record and like my sort of like flag in the ground moment as much as you'd need it to be right now. So there was that, again, there was that sort of like that energy, that chemistry between, and you can't force that. You either have that with somebody you work with and collaborate with, or you don't. And that's why, you know, sometimes you'll see stuff on paper like an artist and a producer, you'll be like, well, that's going to be, you know, the record will be like, that's going to be a slam dunk. But then like it doesn't matter what the credentials on paper say, it's about the chemistry in the
room. The relationship, sure.
Yeah, so and we have a very, very strong, powerful one with both him and Matt Terry and Liam and even Tony, who would come in.
Our lovely lady.
Our lovely chef who would come in and cook for us. But it was everybody wanted the same thing. We all wanted to make something profound and great. And again, that's when I say the similarities between the spirit of making Take It for Colours with Matt Gray and John Mitchell was almost identical to this one.
But do you feel like revisiting your past in this way is going to affect the way you move forward? I mean, it must do, surely, in one way or another.
I think you don't really know where you're going if you understand where it is you've been, you know, and I think that was one of the things that's why I wanted to pay homage to Take It for Colours, was because, you know, by doing those shows, we could sort of get a more sort of fundamental understanding of it and why it is where we are because of that, but then also sign off on it a little bit, you know, and see it out the right way. It's like when you have a football player who's retiring from the team or retiring in general, and like you take him off at sort of the 70th mark and everyone gives him a guard of honour. That's what we're giving Take It for Colours, a little guard of honour, so to speak. But
it's also to the point that we have retired some of these songs for such a long time live, and really without the fans we wouldn't be here today still playing music, you know. Some of these people might have dropped off uni at 6, but it's like a homecoming. You know, for a lot of people, like for us, I would classify Take Off Your Colours as our university years.
Right.
We didn't go to uni, but when people were at uni, we were in the van playing around uni towns, meeting people, having drinks after the gig. So it'd be nice to kind of see some old faces come along, you know, to the gigs, who maybe have dropped off uni at 6, and maybe they might go, oh wow, actually, why did I switch off this band after all these years? They're still that band that I really enjoy watching live, and they've got some great songs. Fingers crossed.
I think that's a safe bet, don't worry. No, it's going to be amazing. It's going to be such a celebration. We're really looking forward to the shows, and congratulations being back on the cover of Rock Sound. It's great to have you guys.
Yeah, thanks for having us.